Most High in Christ. All right, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, starting 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General YAHANNA. And not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite camp.
That's right.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the lesson. You know what I'm saying? You know, if our people would just come back to the Lord, you know what I'm saying, the Lord will actually hear us out again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every time, the only reason we're in captivity is because we wouldn't listen to the Lord. So, really, we're just living out our punishment. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the same for other nations, man. When we go up as a people and we rise as a nation, you know what I'm saying, other nations are going to live out their punishment.
Right.
But for right now, what's going on, we're living out our punishment. We're going through the curses. You know what I'm saying? If you do enough research, you'll see that really, you know what I'm saying, these white folks, you know what I'm saying, white man's the devil the Bible speaks of, he's starting to get the actual curses. You know what I'm saying? They're not populating fast enough. You know what I'm saying? They're not having enough babies. You know what I'm saying? The sun, hates them. You know what I'm saying? They get skin cancer like nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're like walking vampires, man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, as we rise as a nation, there, you can see how, they're eventually going to get those same curses, man. You know what I'm saying? And eventually they're going to go right into slavery as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's you know what I'm saying? I want to say it's imperative, you know what I'm saying, that we actually listen to this word, this Bible. You know what I'm saying? That we go by the laws. You know what I'm saying? And come back to the Most High. So go ahead and read Psalms 33 and 4.
Come on. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 33, verse 4. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth.
Right. So the word of the Lord is right, and it's done in truth. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing more true than these scriptures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back when I was in the world, I used to, you know what I'm saying, look up conspiracy theories and things like that. And, you know what I'm saying, the world's run by reptilians, you know what I'm saying? Like all bunch of, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of conspiracy theories. But, you know what I'm saying, when you actually go through the history, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, find out who you are as a people, you know what I'm saying, it matches up with the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? This word is right. It's true. You know what I'm saying? There's no, like another example. Like when I was in the world, I heard that the scriptures had contradictions. You know what I'm saying? I heard, you know what I'm saying, that nobody could follow the whole Bible, or nobody really understands the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's not true. You know what I'm saying? After coming into the knowledge of myself, you know what I'm saying, knowing I'm an Israelite, you know what I'm saying, knowing that we should, as a people, you know what I'm saying, come back to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? That's what we ought to do. You know what I'm saying? So,
Just like you, sir, if I may. Another thing about what you're saying is when you learn who you really are through this Bible, it gives you an awakening and it gives you a certain purpose and a duty,
right,
to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. And if you get caught up and let people from the world sway you away from it, it'll be one of the saddest mistakes in your life. Because some people in the world think that the Bible is just a bunch of stories of good omens to follow,
right,
to be a good person or
right,
close to a good person. And really, that's, in my opinion, giving the white man too much credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some white man sat down and wrote a bunch of stories to just make people follow them and be a somewhat good person or a role model, and that ain't how this works. That ain't how this works at all. So
Right.
that's deep what you said.
All right. So, I mean, you on it. You know what I'm saying? Like most people think, you know what I'm saying, it's just a bunch of stories that didn't really happen. Like Revelations, it's really a dragon, you know what I'm saying, a seven-headed dragon that smashed a woman. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like, yeah, really, that's just the beginning of finding an excuse to really not follow any law, statutes, or commandments, to just do whatever you want.
Right.
You know, nobody, especially today, nobody wants to feel control. They don't want
Right.
no set of rules to go by, but without any laws, there's no order.
Right.
You know,
If I could add, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how that you know that whole YOLO thing. You only live once.
Yeah.
Saying nobody can tell me what to do.
That's like it.
I'm living my best life. But
A lot of bad decisions has been made off of that little motto alone. You know, some
Right.
people try to make good of it, but mostly what followed it is just doing wickedness. And we talented at doing anything, including wickedness. We the top of anything you throw at us. We gonna make it look like it's fun,
right.
and that's not how it's supposed to be done. You know. So yeah, we need to come back to this book and really understand the purpose of it, who it's for, and why it's such a righteous book. You know, I believe we have many topics discussing holy, and holy means separate. So
Right.
why what makes this a separate book? You know, who is the holy people? You know, the Bible been very specific about a certain group of people that it's talking to. So who are those people? And if you pay attention to our conditions, it's just really hard to overlook that this book is talking to Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't give these white devils too much credit because you say it in basic conversations when you're not including the Bible. They have no flavor. They have no kind of history, no strong history of self-destruction. And I mean, everybody know our original food, you know, black folks, chicken,
and water.
you know what I'm saying? Mexicans got the tacos,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Burritos.
Yeah. So what's their native food? You know, is I guarantee you it's something that we given to them. So try. All you can do is just really dive into this book with the proper instructors to show you who this book is for, which is the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why you need to come to the truth.
Right. Can go ahead and read that script one more time.
Con, I don't want con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 33, verse 4. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth.
All right, now give me Psalms 19:7. So it says, you know what I'm saying, the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that reminds me of, you know what I'm saying, people saying, well, that's not right that the Most High hate. You know what I'm saying? The Most High can't hate. You know what I'm saying? That's not right. You know, and we show them Romans 9:13, and they'll be like, nah, man, that's not right. They can't do, you know what I'm saying? The Most High can't do that. It wouldn't be right that you know what I'm saying, the Most High do that. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High, he does hate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Everything the Most High does, it's in righteousness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's, you know what I'm saying, like how it says, and all his works are done in truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All his works are done in truth. Anything the Most High does, you know what I'm saying, it's done in truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can hold that, give me Isaiah 45 and Isaiah 45 and 7. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the one I'm thinking of. You know what I'm saying? Like
deed done in works good in deed and in truth.
No. But yeah, give me Isaiah 45:7. What's going on, brother? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? The Most High makes everything happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture we just read, it says, "For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth." In 7. Got it. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Right. So, Psalms 33:4 says, "And all his works are done in truth." You know what I'm saying? Basically, all his works are righteous. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord said he creates light and evil. You know what I'm saying? No, light and darkness, good and evil. You know what I'm saying? So most people don't think that the Lord actually created Satan and, you know what I'm saying, evil or darkness. Most people don't know that. But it says right there that the Most High said he does all those things. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that happens, you know what I'm saying, in the world or in the universe, parallel realities or whatever. Nothing happens without the Most High, you know what I'm saying, allowing it or giving the order. You know what I'm saying? The Most High does everything. You know what I'm saying? There's no wrong with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Right. Can give me actually Romans 9:13 real quick. If you can.
Romans 9:13.
Right. Because like I was saying earlier, most people will say it's wrong for the Most High to hate. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, or most people don't know that the Most High actually hates white people. You know what I'm saying? That's something, when people read their Bible, it's something that's just not shown to them. You know what I'm saying? Even though, they could be sitting there reading it every word as it is written. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like, go ahead. Romans 9:13.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau I have hated.
Right. So Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. You know what I'm saying? The Most High does hate, and there's nothing wrong with him hating it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason I could draw, you know what I'm saying? I could draw a stick figure and be like, you know what I'm saying? This drawing is cool or whatever. And then I could make another drawing and be like, man, this one's awesome. I got the mountains in the back with the trees. And, you know what I'm saying? It looked good. I love this one, but man, this stick figure drawing, matter of fact, I hate it. I'm gonna throw it away. You know what I'm saying? It's that same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Most High does what he wants to do. Go ahead and read the next verse on it.
It's Romans 9.
Right? Yeah. Romans 9:14.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?
Right. Is there unrighteousness with God? You know what I'm saying? It's not right that the Most High hates something. You know what I'm saying? Most High got a wicked streak or something. I don't know what it is, but go ahead.
God forbid.
God forbid. Meaning there's nothing wrong with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's his creation to do whatever with. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you had a car and you decide to drive your car, ghost ride it into a brick wall. That was your car to do whatever with. You know what I'm saying? It's your car. You know what I'm saying? It's for whatever you want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So with that, go ahead and give me Psalms 19:7. You know what I'm saying? So this is, in a sense, it's the Most High show. You know what I'm saying? He writes the script. He writes, you know what I'm saying? He's the producer, you know what I'm saying, and the writer.
That's right.
So he's written us, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, a part to play in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the scriptures say, it's our whole duty to do the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
It's our whole duty to do that. You know, it's that's what we ought to do. That's what the Lord wanted us to do in the first place. So go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure,
Right.
making wise the simple.
Right. So the law of the Lord is perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's what actually makes somebody perfect. So when you can do the, you know what I'm saying, when you do the laws, you start putting on your fringes, you know what I'm saying, you stop eating pork, and you know what I'm saying, you start loving your brother and you love the Most High and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, love is an action, it's a duty. So, you know what I'm saying, that's how you know what I'm saying, since the law is perfect and you do those things, you're now perfect in the sight of the Most High.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Shalaki.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's one of the things that he always asks for us to be in his book is perfect. And today we get a kick out of just not being perfect, you know, just being, well, I do some of the things, but that's not what is being asked for you. It's being asked is that you do everything. And they're not even hard to do, but what it is we have a problem with putting aside our own wicked desires.
Right.
You know, it's not hard to put down the blunt, you know, the weed.
Right.
It's not hard to keep your legs closed, stop having sex with random men, you know, just everybody. But, you know, because that's what we so desire, we it's like we don't want to do it.
Right.
You know?
It's like you know, like we're wrestling against, you know, the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like the spirit's willing, you know what I'm saying, but the flesh, you know what I'm saying, it's still carnal. It still wants to do, you know what I'm saying, what it wants to do.
Right.
You know, you know, it's like we're still kids, you know what I'm saying, and we just don't want to do what our Heavenly Father says to do.
Right.
You know, we just like children. We just want to do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? So much so that we've lost, you know, our nation. We've lost our land. We've lost everything, really. You know what I'm saying? You know, our children oppress us, our women oppress us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, and the white man and these other nations.
Right.
So it's like we're down to just nothing, really. You know what I'm saying? We're
nothing but these laws,
right,
statutes, and commandments.
Right.
This is your freedom.
Right.
Because everything else is keeping you held down.
Right. I mean, this is the only thing, you know what I'm saying, like that we have. All we have is Christ, you know what I'm saying, the Most High, and each other. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So read that scripture for me one more time.
One more time. This is Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, right, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Right. So if you were simple, you know what I'm saying, you out there, you know what I'm saying, chasing hoes, smoking weed, you know what I'm saying, or selling drugs, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it may be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These scriptures make you wise. You know what I'm saying? Doing this work makes you a wise man or wise sister, because most sisters, you know what I'm saying, most sisters can't even cook.
Right.
You know, they can't cook try cooking some biscuits from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, they don't even know to do that. You know what I'm saying? Most women think being a you know, dressing like a hoe is like not oppression. Like that's the way to go. Like when you see a woman that's, you know what I'm saying, walking around half naked, like what we were seeing, you know what I'm saying, at camp on Saturday during that gay pride stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's what oppression looks like. People confused out their mind, you know what I'm saying? But when you tell a woman to put on some clothes, you know what I'm saying, cover herself up, now she thinks she's oppressed. You know what what I'm saying? Now she think, you know what I'm saying, everything's been turned upside down.
Which is funny because we get told so many times we don't value and respect our women, but telling you to put some clothes on is helping you have respect and value for yourself.
Right.
Because it really starts with you. But men, we have to take charge and lead righteously first. Because when we get ourselves in order, the women have no choice but to follow.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's all they're looking for is somebody to follow us, period. You know, they looking for somebody to follow.
Right.
So it is very crazy, you know.
Right. And if I could add, you know what I'm saying, Salakia, they're out here following the white man. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like how you said, they want to follow somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, I guess they've been taught to follow the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's really that's been happening since Eve, Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? That serpent was really a white man. You know what I'm saying? Eve wanted to was beguiled by you know the serpent, and then eventually just started following the serpent.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
What's so funny, what's even funnier is even though they following the white man is following them.
Mm-hmm.
Transsexuals. You know, who
Right.
are they mocking? Kylie Jenner and all them putting these different things in their bodies to try to look very fulfilling. Who are they mocking?
Right.
It's not them. You know, it's our women. Everything is mocking us, and they don't do a good job at it. So they killing themselves trying to mock us. You know, and they make themselves look like fools trying to mock us. And what's so crazy is we so loving. Our people as a nation is so loving. We invite everybody into our culture, and all these other cultures who don't want to do nothing but take from us and destroy us. You know, we have all these people in our neighborhoods. You know, you'll never find a black man in the nail shop. You'll never find a black man in a Chinese chicken joint. You know,
Right.
so you know, it's very wild how we try to follow all these people.
Lucky, sorry if I may. And that point so heavy that I was just thinking on that they added breakdancing to the Olympics, and we not even in involved at all. And we made breakdance. We invented breakdance.
Slovakia,
Right.
breakdancing is in the Olympics,
They didn't put breakdance in the Olympics. It's nothing but the other nations.
and we not in it,
And we not in it.
and we're the fathers.
Yeah. I mean, that's like everything else though. Like we invented rock and blues and jazz.
Right.
You know, if you go back and look now, it's mostly full of white boys. And same with rap. So
Slovakia, most of Elvis' songs was written by black men.
right, I heard that. I heard that.
Man. They mock us. They want to be us until it's time to be us, and they don't want nothing to do with us.
Right.
We just another source of entertainment and how you say it, a manuscript on how to live, which is funny because we're not even following the real manuscript on how to live, which is these law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just crazy. It's really funny. Most High probably having a big laugh about everything right now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Read that next scripture for me.
Con. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 8. The statuses of the Lord are right. Rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Right. So you start doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like how I said before, it makes the simple wise. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know what I'm saying, after doing that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to enlighten your eyes. You're going to be able to see, you know what I'm saying, all the bullshit that's going on. You know what I'm saying, like how we were saying about, you know what I'm saying, basically what you said, you know what I'm saying, even the women, you know what I'm saying, they everything's just backwards. Everything's just been upside down.
Slacky, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
With this specific topic, you could kind of throw everything in there. You
Right.
know, like voting. That's not us.
Right.
You know, when we did vote, you know, it was for people that look like us, that know about our struggles, and that was there to help us. They're not there no more. You know, so now when you go to voting polls, you really just, besides picking the king that the Most High didn't choose, you're voting for the lesser evil.
Right.
You know, it's like, I mean, it's crazy because really the only difference between Democrats and Republicans is one comes with lubrication. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot, but you just picking the lesser evil. Voting is not for us. And all the times you voted, did you get everything you wanted from them candidates? Did they do everything they promised?
Right.
Them white devils didn't do nothing for you. They're a liar.
I'm saying, white man's the devil about speaks.
That's right.
You know, so it's like how you were saying, you could see through, you know what I'm saying, the voting, you know what I'm saying, the government, things like that. You just know, you know what I'm saying, after getting this wisdom, you know it's not for you. Like, what's the point of voting if you vote for a candidate who lies and then does nothing for you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, even though most of our people, it's like they still don't see that voting does nothing. Like after, you know what I'm saying, the many years we've been able to vote and still nothing's changed. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it.
Go ahead.
I mean, just pose this question to yourself. Since the beginning of time, the white man has broken all his promises, but you think in 2019, 2020, he's going to keep it for once?
Right.
Out of all these, you know, hey, Native Americans, Thanksgiving, that's all I got to say. You know, I mean, a lot of you right now, what you're doing is you're fighting for a certain individual that you think is good, a good white person, whatever. But the case is, as a nation, they don't love us.
Right.
And we need to separate, you know. And again, we have to stress this message. We ain't saying go out and war against them because vengeance is the Lord. What we're saying is spiritually remove yourself from their ways and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Become one, become a people again. Because that's how we had Black Wall Street, and we was doing very well. And a lot of your favorite movies display how we do well on our own. One of my favorites is Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, they was doing good. You know, and we can have that again, but we have to come together and work as a collective, as a people. If all of and everybody in our nation knows somebody talented. You know somebody that can do roofing. You know somebody that's in the cable company. You know somebody that can do electronics and fix apps. You know somebody that cuts yards. You know somebody who can do architecture, who can rebuild motors, nails, hair, clothes. We are a talented people. Put all of our resources together, we can do so much.
Right. And if I could, I'm gonna read this scripture.
Oh God.
This is Psalms 55:20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. You know what I'm saying? A covenant is a deal. Like how you were saying before. I'm saying that even the Native Americans, you know what I'm saying, anything you make a deal with this white man, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying, he's not gonna keep his end of the bargain, even though you might keep your end. You know what I'm saying, he goes ahead, takes that portion, and doesn't follow through. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, he had broken his covenants.
The military, the courtroom. You know, I know a lot of people who went into the military and they thought they was going to do 2 years and come out back in the day. I don't know if they still messing with it now, but they go in thinking they're going to do 2 years and end up doing 6 off of a lie.
Right.
Courtroom. Go ahead. What you
I
got?
just wanted to ask you something, because I was listening to what you were saying, I've been coming in with my brother-in-law and peers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a physical man. I be liking what y'all be talking
Right.
about. But I just heard you say something that really, it really kind of lightened me on, like when you said about how the black people got this, how they got that, you know, how we should come together and do all that. And I know it's more black people out there that think just like you, right?
Right.
Well, why is it that it don't never happen?
Well, the book says it itself. We are stiff-necked people. You know what I'm saying? And years of being oppressed can blind you from what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If I could add,
go ahead.
you know what I'm saying? Like most of us, like you might see the Muslims or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're all into the Muslim thing. Then you see the RBG, you know what I'm saying? They trying to unite people off black, you know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna work with us being in different religions other than our own.
Right.
You know, like this Bible is, you know what I'm saying, like a game is being played. Like I'll just say, like, for most of my life, I thought, okay, the white man did write this Bible. You know what I'm saying? How does this fit with me? Like, how is this book still relevant? Like, if a white man made this, what does it got to do with me? But then you come to find out that, you know what I'm saying, the prophets were black. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They created this. You know what I'm saying? They were really just like me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
One of the strong things about this book that people miss is context. Context helps you a lot with this book. And everything needs to be analyzed context after context after context. So with that being said, you think about these school systems and how they done for our people. You know, till this day, a lot of brothers don't know how to read too well. And that go back all the way to slavery. You know, they didn't want us to read this book. You know, they took pages out of this book in case you did happen to read and stumble upon a few truths. You wouldn't be able to see that it was talking to you. It was the apocrypha.
You know, I don't mean to cut you off, but I was listening to you when you was talking. I was thinking about, like, on my jobs, like, I would see the young guys come in, man, you know, the little young guys, you know what I'm saying? You know, I would try to help them out. They would rebel. Nigga, who you think you is? You can't tell me nothing. Nah. Okay, bro, cool.
Right.
You ain't gonna be working here too long.
Right.
You ain't gonna be working here too long, bro. I'm trying to help you, right? But when a white man come tell me something,
They get in line.
they get in line. But I seen it more, right? I seen it more on my jobs. I seen the division amongst the blacks, because you see the Mexicans, you see the whites, you see the Chinese.
Yeah.
You see how the structure is. Like,
Right. They're more
stuff
organized.
that we do to one another, they would never do to one another.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I seen that, and I said, man, it seemed like to me, right? We the only people that really can't get along with one another. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the slavery thing,
It's part of
the field nigga and the house nigga, or you see what I'm saying? I'll be trying to figure out, you know, why I can't help these little guys, because, you know, you ain't gonna listen to me. You ain't gonna be working here too long, man. I'm trying to help you, little bro. But
that
hey,
is
I ain't
a
gonna
program that's been since, like you just called it, since slavery. That is a program that's just been taught to us for generations. And then not only that, we have not been brought up correctly. The young men has not been trained. The men before us have failed in making some righteous brothers.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody steal from you, you don't trust them, you don't want nothing to do with them, you probably want to hurt them. This book teach you to forgive, but this book also teach you not to steal. You know what I'm saying? But it tells you to forgive your brother 70 times 7.
Right.
You know,
70 times 7.
7 times 7. You know, we supposed to forgive. It said love your neighbor. So loving your neighbor, when you say neighbor, what you think about?
Well, I would think, if they say neighbor, to be honestly speaking, I would think the person that's living next door to you.
So
That's what I would think.
Right. So your neighbor is not somebody across town in a gated community, right? So why isn't when it says love your neighbor, this book thinks it's talking about everybody? It's talking about people, your kinsmen according to the flesh. You know, love your people. Because, man, we facing hard times and oppression has blinded us
I got
to righteousness.
a scripture for what you were saying earlier. Like why are we so, you know, like the young brothers be so hard headed, and you know what I'm saying? Like whatever we do, I'm saying it's like we just can't get along or something. So this is Deuteronomy 28:54. You know what I'm saying? And this is part of the curses. And it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. You know what I'm saying? So a tender man is really just somebody who's weak, you know, a weak brother. Like I would say the brothers who care about their people, you know what I'm saying, who go to camp and things like this, who do righteous acts and follow the Lord, you know what I'm saying, the laws, we're the strongest brothers. You know what I'm saying? So that's like you know, that's part of the curses. So that's one of the reasons why we not really trying to get with it. It's because we're not doing the laws.
And
Right?
you know, I mean, cut you off. You know, that's what I think. Like a lot of people, man, like you said, the young folks that they didn't grow up right. Like you said, that's why I kind of think like a lot of people, man, they don't want to deal with these young people, man, because excuse me, they on these drugs. You know, they'll do anything, man. I just seen on the news, he in Texas, bro. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The guy in Texas just stabbed his grandma all in the face, talking about he was a dragon and he needs something to eat. He in Texas. Bro, it's all on Facebook, man. He stabbed his grandmama, man, all in the face, saying he was a dragon and he wanted to eat, and he stabbed her like 17 times, bro. And she didn't even die. And he was saying that they found out that they were trying to see if he was had some type of mental problems or something. He didn't have no mental problems or nothing, bro. The man just blanked out.
As we said before, you know, the men before us have failed in raising us up, and that's why it's important that we get back to being men. We need to point out what is right, what is wrong, and stand strong when it comes time to show how to walk. And you can't do nothing but walk in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because if you walk, you see our leaders, our so-called leaders, they don't care about us. They don't care about you. The only time they show up is when money involved and it's a big story and everybody's watching and they need that publicity to get them more money and more attention and probably more books and more showtime. You don't need brothers like that. You need brothers who's going to show up when there's not a camera around. You need somebody who's going to be there when you down at your weakest point and you don't know what to do. And you know you can call them. And that's what we try and bring up. Righteous men that you can call when you feel like you oppression is just heavy and you can't do nothing about it. You know, brothers calling in tears, I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do.
You know, I just wanted, you know, I'm glad for this, you know, this is my brother-in-law right here. My wife is his wife's sister. So, you know, I was going through a little something, man, and you know, he was there for me. You know, like I said, I might not believe what he believed in, but you know, I could feel the love, the genuine love that he had for me. So
Most High in Christ. Can we give a hand clap for that? You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ for that.
You know, like I was going through some stuff maybe about a week ago, and I was kind of confused, man, because I was there and I'm here in Texas, and I didn't really know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I was going to have some little family problems, job situation, you know what I'm saying, bills and all that. And he told me, he said, man, just stick it out, man. And now I got a job, you know, everything's smoothing out with my family, you know what I'm saying? And he's still here with me. So that's why I'm here, bro. So
you need to stick with that righteous brother right there. The Most High is probably pulling you toward us so you can get right. You know, and I'm listening to you. You said you stuck by him and he gave you words of encouragement. Now he in this school, and then with him talking to you and just off the vibe alone, the love he giving you alone, you sitting in our school as well. And you ain't, hey, you like you said, you don't believe in what he believe in, but you here. You know what I'm saying?
Every time I come here, I learn something, bro.
Yeah. Right.
I done been here maybe about what? About 4 times?
Yeah, I remember seeing you at
Been to the
camp
street
too.
thing. You know, I've been here.
Yeah, and we don't do nothing but talk from this book. And when we talk to this book, I mean, you hear it. That's why I tell everybody, you know the truth when you hear it.
Yeah, you do.
And if you don't hear it, it's probably because the Most High hardened you because he don't want you in this. You know what I'm saying? Them Christian pastors, they talking from the same book we speak, and
Right.
you don't even hear most of them scriptures that we bring out in church.
Salaki, because it's not genuine.
Right,
You know, it's just they out for their own thing.
right.
You know, for more money, for their own. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, so it's not genuine. Like it always comes back to, you know what I'm saying, brotherhood and doing what the Most High said.
Right.
That's what this whole thing is about. Brotherhood and just doing what the Lord said.
Right.
You know
Because
what
that
I'm
is your duty.
Like loving your brother is a commandment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That brother, he just doing the commandment.
Yeah, he definitely. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was kind of like, he was like, man, just don't go back, man. Whatever you do, just don't go back.
Right.
And I was like, man, bro, I'm here. I really ain't got no place to stay. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, you come stay with me, man. I'm talking about doing this exact words. He was like, man, bro, just don't go back, man. You come stay with me.
Most
You know what I'm
High
saying? I'm
Christ.
like, man, I can't,
Right.
I can't stay. I can't live with you. I ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? How much you come stay with you and your wife? And I ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? But he told me, he said, man, whatever you got to do, he said, just stick it out, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always tell him, I said, I tell him that, you know, I don't really get a chance to see him because I'm working. I got to be at work at 9 o'clock at night. I work from 9 at night to 6 in the morning, so I be kind of tired. But you know, whatever he say, you want to come get me? Come on, let's go. He just called me.
Stick with us, brother. You know, I hear the vexation in your chest. You know what I'm saying? I hear it coming out. You know, you trying to figure it out. Stick with that, brother, and keep coming to class. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I can see that, you know, by talking to us and listening to these words, you feeling a little better about the situation. You said things getting better for you. Just stick with that righteous man right there, man. That's all I can say. Because this brotherhood is a weapon. That's what we be saying in the school. Brotherhood is a weapon. We don't just say it. We do it. You know, practice what you preach. And we definitely practice what we preach. You know what I'm saying? That brother is being, Most High Christ with it, brother. He's being a brother to you and has brought you here and is helping you with your life. You know, and that's what we need more in our community. Brotherhood. You know, and with the sisters too. Just because I'm saying brotherhood don't mean that's excluded. Sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of sisters, you know, they let an enemy get in their ear and they run with whatever they was told with, and the whole sisterhood fall apart. And it probably was based on a lie or misunderstanding.
We confess them. So
you know, and that's why we have to be leaders and show them how it's done.
Right.
And you know, and that brother's being a leader to you, showing you brotherhood. Now, hopefully, you take the same things that he's done for you and pass it on to another brother.
Right.
You know, or another sister. You know, that's all it is. Pay it forward. Pay that righteousness forward. And just follow the Most High. You know, that's a beautiful thing right there, man. So you got another scripture you want me to go to?
Go to Proverbs 28 and 9.
Verse 28 and 9.
Yes. All right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
Are you going? All right, Shalom, Lord Christ, man.
Yeah.
Come get me, man. I'm gonna be with him.
Stick with him, man. Keep coming back to class.
Appreciate you guys,
right.
man.
Even if you got to show up just for a minute or so, come by, man.
All right, Most High Christ, man. What's your name?
Tony.
Is what?
Tony. You was at the street thing, wasn't you?
I remember you. Yeah.
Wasn't you at the street thing? You said?
Yeah. I'll see you again, man. Keep coming around.
Take care, man.
All right, man. All right, so that's
I said, whenever you call me, I'm coming, bro.
Okay.
Most High Christ. Most High Christ. 28.
28:9.
28 and
Now,
9.
actually, give me Ecclesiasticus 12:6.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 6.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Most High in Christ, whatever.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, man. It's about brotherhood. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it always goes back to the two greatest commandments. You know what I'm saying? Love the Lord with all your heart and love one another.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Without that, then, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Without the brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? Loving the Most High is basically like brotherhood too.
And that's funny you say that, because you know the thing about brotherhood is a lot of our troubles come from trying to find some form of family.
Right.
With the military, with the gangs, with the I guess you want to say cool kids at the school who ain't doing nothing but dumb things, getting in
Right.
trouble. You didn't care as long as you felt like you was with somebody that made you feel like you was a part of something, made you feel like you was a part of a family. Because a lot of people, our people, can't even find that family bond with their real family. You know, they go home and they feel like they're alone in a house full of people.
Right.
You know, and you need brotherhood to pull you out of that darkness, get that dark cloud from over your head, and get you to see the light. And eventually, by following these laws, statutes, and commandments, become a shining light or a beacon in your community of how to be.
Right.
So,
yeah, go ahead and
12
read that.
and 9.
No, 12 and 6.
12 and 6. Come on, come on.
That's it.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hate sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment.
Right. So give me 1 John 2 and 4.
1 John 2 and 4.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The Most High dislikes sinners. Like, you know what I'm saying? Really, when you sin, you're going against the Most High. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you're going against, you've made the Most High your adversary. You know what I'm saying? Like how hard is it to love your people? You know, how hard is it to love your brother? And like, you know what I'm saying, like how that brother made sure his brother was okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like how hard, you know what I'm saying? That's not something that's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, loving your people is not something that's really that difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like we said before, these pastors, these celebrities, you know what I'm saying? All these people who want to keep doing, you know what I'm saying, their own thing, they just out for their, you know, exactly, their own thing. They out for themselves. Go ahead.
If I may, but to become righteous, you must learn to become selflessness.
Right.
You know,
To be selfless.
Yeah, you know,
Because we're in captivity. You know what I'm saying? It can't be about being selfish. You know what I'm saying? God being selfish got us here.
Right.
In captivity. So it's time to be selfless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In order to get up out of captivity. You know what I'm saying? And have our own. When you have your own nation, you know what I'm saying? It's like what Uncle Sam will say. What can you, not what we can do for you, what can you do for your nation? What can you do for your country? You know what I'm saying? So be selfless, you know what I'm saying, and do for your nation.
Right.
Do for your countrymen.
And that's the key part of the game right there.
Right. So go ahead and read that for me.
Come on. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 2. And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
No, wait, you somewhere else.
You said verse 2, right?
No, 2 and 4.
2 and 4, Salakia. This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar.
Right. He that says, I know the Lord, and keeps not his commandments, you know what I'm saying, is a liar. And what?
And the truth is not in him.
Right. So the truth is not in him. You know what I'm saying? You hate your brother, you know what I'm saying? You You know what I'm saying? You out for your own gain. You know what I'm saying? You're a liar. You know what I'm saying? The truth is not in you. You have no foundation to rely on. You know what I'm saying? Your foundation is just doing wickedness. So you automatically gonna be a liar. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you say you know the Lord and you know what I'm saying, you know your Jesus and whatnot. We know you a liar.
What's like?
Go ahead.
What's so crucial about this book is with the context of understanding it and applying it to your life. Sometimes what I like to do is think, man, you know, when certain things happen in my life, like betrayal from a friend or something like that, I be thinking, man, this must be how the Most High feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When somebody, when you tell a child to do something for their own good, they don't listen. Or a friend betrays you, or somebody lies to you, that feeling after they done it, I'm like, man, this must be how the Most High feels with his own people.
Right.
You know, and that alone makes me want to do more and try harder to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. And then if I might, I got a verse to go with that.
Go ahead.
So it's in the next chapter. This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word,
Right.
neither in tongue,
Right.
but in deed and in truth. So with that verse, you want action behind people's promises. And a lot of people say all the time, you know, I love you, I care for you. And it's the same thing with the Most High. I love the Lord. I know the Lord. But they don't do his law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And in your case, they don't follow behind the promises that they've given you. And you can't help but say, no, you don't.
Right.
So the Most High says the same thing. No, you don't.
Right.
Because you have not done what I asked you to do. You can't possibly love me. You can't possibly care for me. You don't even care for yourself.
Right.
You know? So that's all I got with that.
I mean, that's you on it, brother. Because I mean, love is an action.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not only that, it's a duty. You know what I'm saying? So, like how you said, you know, if the Lord's looking like, well, you haven't done anything I told you to do. You know what I'm saying? You haven't done, you know what I'm saying, my laws. You know what I'm saying? You don't even put your fringes, you know what I'm saying, on your pants. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't doing anything. So how, you know what I'm saying, how are you even showing me that you love me? You know what I'm saying? Jumping up and down, praise dancing is not showing me that you love me. It's all about action. It's about work. That's how you prove to anybody that you love them. You do an action. You know what I'm saying? Not a you know what I'm saying? You do basically what they say to do.
It's like it's very funny that we have high standards for everybody when it comes to our needs. And the Most High have high standards when it comes to his needs. And we get very upset when people don't meet our standards. And we expect the Most High to just be like, oh, well, it's all right. You tried. You did all right. He gets very upset when we don't meet his standards, his needs.
Right, right.
And we expect for it to just roll over. And you know, that's not right. You know, what goes around comes around.
Right, like you saying, like we have higher standards for the Most High. Like he'll always do. Most High will always love me. Most
Right.
High will always. Well, if I pray for you, the Most High gonna give it to me. The Lord gonna give it to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it's a bad. You're not holding up your end of the bargain.
Right.
You know, because he has promises of riches that you can't even imagine if you follow these law, statutes, and commandments, and you expect to get those riches and not do the work to get them.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
it doesn't work like that.
So like that scripture you just read, you know what I'm saying? Love not in word, but in deed. You know what I'm saying? That's all it takes. Love in action. You know what I'm saying? That's how you show love. You know what I'm saying? That's how you show you love your brothers and your people. You know what I'm saying? So if you could read James 4:8.
James 4.
Right. Yeah. Read James 4:8. You know, so, you know, if our people would just, you know, love each other again, you know what I'm saying, and do for each other, you know, we'll be out of here in no time, to be honest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If the masses of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans actually do for each other again and you unify, you know what I'm saying, it's game over for everybody else. It's game over for, you know what I'm saying, all nations, man, especially this white man. It's game over for him. Because, you know what I'm saying, like the scriptures say, we're the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? When we finally decide to put our hand into unifying, into doing for each other, we're gonna be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna, you know what I'm saying, we'll, you know, our nation's just gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
James
And
4:8.
yeah. So read that when you get it for me.
I got it right here.
Good.
This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
Right. So if the way you draw nigh to the Lord is how it said, cleanse your hands and what?
Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? Cleansing yourself is doing the laws, is being taught again. And that's what baptism really is to be taught again, you know what I'm saying, in righteousness through these words of the Most High. Right. You know what I'm saying, through these records. That's how you get taught again. You know what I'm saying? That's how you become a new person. That's how you cleanse your way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, become a new person. So that's saying that's how you draw nigh to the Most High. That's how you get closer to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And it says if you draw nigh to the Most High, then the Lord's going to draw nigh to you. The Lord's going to hear your prayers, man. He's going to hear what you got to say. And saying he's going to watch over you. Because he's going to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? My nigga Mayash, he doing what I told him to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be watching over him. You know what I'm saying? It still don't mean you don't get tested. You know what I'm saying? But still don't mean you don't get tested. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord still, you know what I'm saying, he's still watching over you. He's still making sure, you know what I'm saying, because the Lord knows how much you can take. You know what I'm saying? He knows. Saying the Lord knows everything, man. You know what I'm saying? But keep going.
Verse 9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep.
Right.
Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness.
Right. So we having too much fun in this place, man. We having too much fun sinning. You know what I'm saying? You know, the people who are out here in the world still sinning, they're, you know what I'm saying, they haven't, right, they live they living their best life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They feeling like they live only once. You know, so they live, you know, they're happy to sin. You know what I'm saying? They seeking death. You know what I'm saying? So they happy to do it.
You know what? I have some for seeking death.
All right. You know what I'm saying? But they happy to do it. You know what I'm saying? If they would, you know, like I ain't gonna lie, when I before I came into this truth, I was not having no fun time. I was not having fun being out in the world. I was actually more lost and confused than anything else because I'm like, why am I even here? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, read what you have.
This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul.
Right.
All that hate me love death.
Right. So you sinning, you know what I'm saying? You must love death, man.
Right.
You on your way. You must really want to die. You know what I'm saying? That's like the people who keep smoking cigarettes and they can't stop. They want to die. You know what I'm saying? Or the brothers and sisters who know the truth, you know what I'm saying? And then they still go, you know, eat pork and smoke weed and all that.
Some of y'all had adult figures or whoever was your guardian at the time. When you was doing wrong, all it took was this one line and you got right. Wait a minute. Somebody must want to ask one.
Right.
Somebody must want to get popped. Somebody must want me to get up out this chair and discipline you. And you got right because you knew in the first place what you was doing was wrong, but you was having so much fun doing it. You convince your guardian, okay, you want to get in trouble. You seeking my attention in the most wicked way. You must want to be disciplined.
Right. So keep going.
I won't come. That is James 4, who's at 9.
Go to 10.
Yeah. Verse 10. This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and ye shall lift you up.
Right. You humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's gonna lift us back up, man. Like I said, he's gonna see us doing these, you know what I'm saying, these laws. You know what I'm saying, like the scripture say, you gotta humble yourself as a child again. You humble yourself as a child and stop acting like a know-it-all and stop doing all, doing what you want to do. And saying the Lord will lift us up. And saying the Lord will get us up out this hell. You know what I'm saying? Into our own place. Anything you want to add?
I mean, humble people get sought out more than people that boast with wickedness or anything.
Right.
That's just life. You be around some people and they loud and they doing the most, they obnoxious, they cause a scene for no reason.
Right.
You get tired of being around them. And then when you see somebody humble, you just like, man, let me see what this cat about. Hey man, what's your name? Yada yada yada. What's up, man? It's just life. So it's the same thing with these scriptures, only following the law, statutes, and commandments, because you be humble and wicked too, Right. But following these law, statutes, and commandments, and like, okay, I realize I'm wrong and I don't know everything. Let me buckle down, find out what I need to do.
Right.
So the Most High can hear my prayers when I really need him to.
So, okay, Salakia. Right. So here it goes. This is Matthew 18:4. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, you know what? Let me read the verse above it. And okay, 18 verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So, like when it says humble, it just means you gotta be taught again, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? You're not a know-it-all. You know what I'm saying? There's a time you're gonna have to be like, well, all I've been doing in life has led me up to here. You know what I'm saying? Which is, like before I was in the truth, I was sleeping on the floor with roaches and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying?
Brother that was in here.
Right. So, we had a damn near a testimony.
Right.
So
it was a testimony.
Right. Right.
Brother said everything he was trying to do, he wasn't good with his family. He was homeless. He's from Chicago. Next thing you know, he looked up. He in Texas, don't know what to do. And the righteous brother who is now in the school has told him, just stick through it. You can stay with me. And like, man, I ain't even have a job. Don't worry about it. Just stick with me. And now he in the school.
Right. So what he did, like I like how you know, he humbled himself and was like, man, I'm in this horrible situation. You know what I'm saying? How am I gonna get out of it now? And it took that brother to, you know what I'm saying, like how you said before, lead him in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta come as a nation, become as children again. And you know, not in the immature sense as a child, but just as humble as a child. Because a child is like a open book. Like you can tell a child anything, right, and it'll receive it. Child is like a sponge, it'll soak it up.
Slacky. I just thought of something, you know, with that being said, you're gonna come see us eventually.
Right.
We would rather it be through us fishing and you coming to get this knowledge. But if not, you'll see us again on the day of judgment, and it's gonna be with swords.
Right.
And I really hope you just come get this knowledge, because
right. So he's right, like how you say, either way, you're gonna see the prophets, you're gonna see the men of the Lord.
You're gonna see us.
It's just whether it's gonna be with a sword
Or with knowledge.
With a physical sword in our hand or the spiritual sword in our hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you decide which way you trying to get cut.
Right. Because you're going to see it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna pass the class to Trooper Ron. He's gonna read the security announcements. You know what I'm saying? Check out Just Laundry. It's at Etsy.com. Also, pay your camp funds and tithes. Right. And Shalom Yahabashim Yahushai to the brothers. Shalom Yahushua Atah Bashim Yahushai to the sisters. Go ahead.
We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Mayashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Salakia is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, which is Saturday, September 28, 2019, out of the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. If anyone wants to become a trooper in a school, to start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.